This is my presentation on chapel survey findings. Okay, my main question was, what are Lee students' opinions on chapel? This is the question that I had when I chose this as my topic and started researching. And I chose this because chapel is an important part of life at Lee, and I just wanted to know what everybody's opinion is on it. So first things first, my method I used was through an anonymous survey. I had 51 participants in this. So let's get started. First is the general gathering information. This is just the information I got from the surveys. And the first thing I got was years of college. This one was a little difficult because when I made this question, I didn't word it quite correctly, so I got some weird answers. So this is the chart that I made that sums this up pretty nicely, how it's supposed to. We have first years, second years, third years, fourth years. And as you can see, there's a pretty high concentration of first years and second years. And that's mostly due to that's who I have access to as I am a freshman. So that's just something to keep in mind when looking at the rest of these results because it's going to be a little biased for freshmen and sophomores' opinions. Okay, secondly, we have age range participants. Again, it kind of goes along with the other thing. I have a higher concentration in 18, 19, 20-year-olds. We have 11, 18-year-olds, 18, 19-year-olds, 11, 20-year-olds, and so on. Okay, this was my main idea question. This is the question that the rest of the questions build on from here on out. It was how much of chapel should be required? And this question really surprised me. I did expect 50% to be the most, and it was. 35 people chose this, and 75% came in second with 13 people choosing this one. But I really expect at least 1 or 2 people to choose 0% or to hold the opinion that chapel should not be required. But nobody did, and 25% was also really low, with only 3 people choosing that one. So my next question, the ones that build on the former question, was chapel should be once a week. And this is set on a scale of 1 to 10 of how much you agree with the statement, 10 being the most, 1 being the least. And there was a mild concentration on the right side of the graph, like 5 and up. But I would say the concentration could even be considered kind of in the middle. I think that would be fair. Again, the data can be a little skewed to freshmen and sophomores' opinions and not really the whole population. Second, chapel should be at night. This one, there was an overwhelming majority voted against having chapel at night. You can see that on the graph really well. It's very clear how students feel about this one. The same for this next question, chapel should be more than twice a week. There was a very high amount of people that said between 1 and 3. We have 26 and 8 right there. So part 2, we have noticeable data trends. So I have all my data now, and I was trying to find connections or things that kind of stuck out as weird. And I found that in this next thing, denominations in relationship to chapel opinion. I had 2 questions. I asked, what denomination were you raised and what denomination do you identify as? And a large portion of participants were raised Baptist, and we also have this large array of other, which is what you can see all these colors on the side. But when you look at the identify, you have a really large portion identifying as non-denominational. But not only that, when I was looking at these specific switches, I was noticing there was about 15 people that switched from a different denomination to non-denominational. And I wanted to see what opinions were held specifically for that cohort. And that's what this next thing is. I found a small trend was 8 out of 15 voted for 70% or more on chapels. And out of 13 votes for 75% or more, 62% came from those who switched from a denomination to non-denominational. Again, that 8 out of 15. So I can't really say anything conclusively about this. It's just a trend that I wanted to mention. So thirdly, here's my final findings. Again, just chapel changes based on participants' opinions. This is what I found. Chapel should only be required 50% of the time. Again, we saw that there was a want for 50%, about, I believe it was 32. I have to look back at that. So chapel should not change time of day, and chapel should not meet more than twice a week. Chapel should not be shorter, and there was a mild preference for chapel to be only once a week, but again, it was very mild. I don't think anything should change there. And that is all. That's my whole presentation. Thank you for listening. This link here will take you to my survey so you can look at the questions in full. Thank you for listening. That is all. Bye.